Greetings, Eric Backer, naturopath, author of Candida Crusher. Thanks for tuning into this video. Question I got asked from a lady recently here actually in the clinic a few weeks ago. Eric, can Candida become resistant? Is it resistant towards natural things? Is it resistant towards prescription things? Interesting, in 2012 a study was published in an obstetrics and gynecology journal in America where they studied fluconazole, a drug that's commonly used to treat Candida, diflucan or fluconazole, and they found about over a 10 to 12 year period that all these new strains of Candida were becoming increasingly resistant to fluconazole. So the day will come when Candida is very resistant to a lot of these pharmaceutical drugs. What they haven't found, however, in various university studies in America is a resistance against natural antifungals like grapefruit seed extract and caprylic acid, undersolenic acid, these sort of things, and garlic extract, for example. These things are very powerful, and Candida is not showing resistance against these things. These things have been around for thousands of years. Drugs have only been around recently. These Candida strains are very clever how they can outsmart and continually change. One thing that you've got to remember is that the Candida and human cells are very similar. We call them eukaryotic, which means they have a membrane around the edge of them and they have a nucleus in the center. Now, antifungal drugs target eukaryotic cells, which means that they can kill human cells as well as the fungal cells. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to work out that when you're going to take these drugs to work on yeast infection, they're going to harm our own natural cells as well. Whereas other foods or herbs that have been used for a long time to bring microbial order back into balance, these things don't kill human cells. Garlic does not kill a eukaryotic cell like the way that diflucan does, for example. So it makes more sense for us to use a natural antifungals. A product I developed up in America called Canxida is extremely effective antifungal agent, and I want you to consider that instead of taking something like diflucan or nystatin or any of these other pharmaceutical drugs for yeast infection. I think you're going to have a much better effect and also going to prevent the resistance. Particularly if you're going to take this on and off for a while, you're going to help to bring this balance of the yeasts and beneficials in your body back into balance again, and not get to a point where you're continually taking things and developing resistance and then developing even more powerful strains internally to combat. This sort of treatment with medical people over the years has resulted now in superbugs, bacteria that have become so resistant to a lot of these antibiotics that we're going to get to a point where drugs don't work on humans anymore. So when it comes to Candida, please consider a natural, powerful antifungal and try and keep away from prescribed pharmaceutical drugs, because you will certainly get resistance if you keep taking them routinely. Thanks for your attention.